Welcome to tonight's Hedgehog player performance of Edgar Was a Worm. Please be advised, if you came here tonight expecting a light-hearted tale with a happy ending, you are about to be sorely disappointed. Disappointed, a word which here means it will fail to live up to your cheerful expectations. Instead, what you are about to witness is a narrative with no happy beginning, no happy middle, and certainly no happy ending. If you do not wish to ruin your whole life, your evening, and your day, I beg you, look away. This story is full of nothing but inconveniences, horror, and dismay. So again, I beg you, please look away. This presentation could best be described as a tragedy. Tragedy, a word which comes from the Greek, tragetoia. Tregos, meaning goat, and adian, meaning to sing. Ergo, goat song. However, ironically, this theatrical offering contains no references to goats. It most assuredly will involve some singing. Let this be, for you, dear viewer, a cautionary tale, a tale which is told to warn the listener of danger, just as Lewis Carroll tells us in Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Alice had read several nice little histories about children who had gotten burnt and then eaten by wild beasts and other unpleasant things, all because they could not remember the simple rules which their friends had taught them, such as a red-hot poker will burn you if you hold it too long, and if you cut your finger very deeply with a knife, it usually bleeds. And she had never forgotten that if you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is almost certainly to disagree with you sooner or later. So too, our protagonist, a word here which means our central character, learns the perils or dangers prevailing in the world around him. Turn page. Edgar was a Lumbricus terrestrius of the phylum Anidalia. That is to say, he was a common earthworm. Pause. Although, as you are about to discover, there was nothing common about Edgar. He was of a diminutive stature, and yet, compared to others of his species, he was quite plump and succulent. Edgar led a content existence beneath the terra firma. This is until one fateful Saturday. On this particular Saturday, Mr. Raglan had resolved to go fishing. Desiring a worm to bait his fish hook, Mr. Raglan ventured out into the yard and knelt down upon the earth. It was there that he discovered poor, unfortunate Edgar. Seizing Edgar, he assessed Edgar's attributes as fish bait and determined that Edgar would do quite nicely. Edgar had to think quickly on his feet. To think quickly on one's feet is a phrase which means to react decisively, effectively, and without prior thought or planning. But of course, Edgar had no feet. Nevertheless, he had to think quickly just the same, for Edgar had no desire to be Mr. Raglan's fishing companion. Therefore, Edgar looked at Mr. Raglan and began to speak. He said, "You know, fish go in the water. Men and women go in autos. Little worms go in the ground. So won't you please put me down?" Mr. Raglan didn't seem convinced. So Edgar decided to appeal to Mr. Raglan's moral conscience by contemplating, what would Jesus do? Edgar continued. Jesus told me all about you men and about the way that you did him in. Jesus told me all about you men and about the way you're gonna do me in. Mr. Reglan was taken quite aback. He looked at Edgar and pondered his words, and then declared that he hadn't realized worms could speak at all. Edgar said, "That's not uncommon, and that lots of men don't listen to the voices all around them, and this is why nature dies."